Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at something pretty amazing, I think.
Yeah, this one is pretty wild.
XSun. You heard of them?
Oh yeah, they're doing some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. So they're a startup, and they're all about these, get this, autonomous solar-powered drones.
Yeah, that's the future right there, right?
Yeah, like straight out of sci-fi. But it's happening now. They basically want to revolutionize a ton of industries by using these drones, for stuff that's just not possible right now.
Absolutely. Continuous flight, they can be up there forever, gathering data, doing all sorts of tasks. I was reading on their website and
Yeah, we dug into their website. Plus, there's this cool case study by Dassault Systems.
right. Really
So yeah,
fascinating.
we've got some good stuff to go on here. But the big question is, how is XSun taking this super high-tech stuff, aerospace technology we're talking,
Yeah.
and making it relevant to, everyday life?
Well, I think the first thing to consider is the drone market in general, right? Like it's already huge, but it's going to get even bigger. Gartner, they're predicting it'll hit 3.7 billion euros by 2027.
Wow, that's a lot of drones.
It is. And XSun, they're not just throwing another drone into the mix, they're doing something completely different. Think back to Solar Impulse, that solar-powered plane that flew around the world. XSun's kind of building on that, but their focus is on making this technology accessible and practical.
So they're taking inspiration from this huge, around-the-world flight and bringing it down to Earth.
Exactly. They're bridging the gap between aeronautics and aerospace. You could almost think of their drones as like mini satellites with sophisticated control systems.
Mini satellites, that's a pretty bold comparison. What makes their drones so different from, the ones we see buzzing around already?
Well, it all comes down to two things: energy and decision autonomy. Most drones, they're limited by battery life. XSun's drones have solar panels that recharge constantly so they can stay up there much longer. And the decision autonomy, that means they can make decisions on their own, adapt to changes in the environment, complete tasks without needing someone to control them every second.
Wow, so it's not just about flying longer, it's about flying smarter too.
Mm.
Now, on their website, they list a whole bunch of potential applications. It's pretty mind-blowing. I mean, we're talking monitoring infrastructure, things like pipelines, power lines, even railways. Then there's environmental monitoring, search and rescue, agriculture. They even talk about using these drones for maritime surveillance and, get this, species detection.
Right. And that's where this whole convergence idea really comes in. With these drones operating almost like satellites, constantly collecting data, they can cover vast areas, much more efficiently than traditional methods. It's a game changer for a lot of industries.
Yeah, for sure. And they talk about the actual design of the drones, using lightweight composite materials to keep them light, maximizing the surface area for those solar panels.
Yeah.
It all makes sense. But what about controlling these things, especially on those long-distance missions they're aiming for?
Well, that's where their network of ground control stations comes into play. So basically, they can monitor and control the drones remotely, even when they're flying beyond the line of sight. Pretty sophisticated stuff.
It sounds like it. Now, I'm curious, how does all this tech, these futuristic drones, how does it impact someone like me, who's not in one of these specific industries?
Well, think about it this way. These drones, they could be delivering packages, inspecting bridges in your city, monitoring the air quality in your neighborhood. They could really change our daily lives in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
Okay, so they've got this incredible vision, they've got the technology, but how are they actually building these things?
Hmm.
Let's talk about Dassault Systems, because XSun uses their 3D experience platform, and according to XSun's CEO, Benjamin David, it's crucial for them. It helps them manage all the data, it keeps track of all the different components.
Yeah, a platform like that is essential for a company like XSun. It's not just about designing the drone itself, it's about simulating how it flies, managing all the data it collects, coordinating with those ground control stations. It's like this giant brain that ties everything together.
So it streamlines the whole process from design to testing to operation. Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot, but I want to leave everyone with something to think about.
Yeah.
As this technology becomes more common, as we see more and more of these solar drones up in the sky, what are some of the ethical considerations we need to be thinking about?
You hit the nail on the head. We need to be having these conversations now. The technology is incredible, but we need to make sure it's used responsibly, that we're addressing things like privacy concerns, safety protocols, environmental impact.
Right, so it's not just about what's possible, but what's responsible. Lots to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into XSun and their incredible solar drones. Check out their work, see what you think. Who knows, maybe one day soon, you'll look up and see one of these things flying overhead. Thanks for listening.